Okay, so congratulations on being awarded as the Community Leader of the Year by the U.S. Green Building Council. And LEED, of course, stands for LEED, L-E-E-D, which is
leadership. I get it.
No. Yeah, I know you get that. Yeah. But are you familiar with what LEED is?
Sure.
The Environmental Rating System for Buildings.
Exactly.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Well, you know, we have at the county level, which as a county that's really bigger than about 5 states, it's pretty important, I think, that as a growing county that we're very sensitive to the environment across the board. And we've done a lot of things that you would expect a county to do in terms of growth strategies, protecting the environmentally sensitive areas to the east side of the county, engaging in an environmentally sensitive land purchasing program, which was, when the economy was a little bit better, was pretty easy to do. Mm-hmm. But beyond that, as far as alternative fuels in our fleet, as far as green buildings.
But you know what's interesting for me? I agree. Orange County has done so much, really, in so many different directions, but I don't feel like they get the visibility that they need. And that's why I'm so excited that Orange County Convention Center is going for LEED certification. Because in order to be a premier convention center, which we have, and we're the 2nd largest in North America, you need to be LEED certified. So I think that's great that you supported that effort. Yeah,
I think there's a couple areas that really expectations are pretty low, and I think we've exceeded those in a lot of areas. We started with the solar panels on the convention center, and now the LEED certification, I think, takes us to a level that there are certain conventions that actually are going to make a decision on that point alone. If it's a tie, we might get business that we would not otherwise not get.
You're absolutely right. So, anyway, what is, you have been environmentally oriented. That's always been part of what you've done. I know you've done lots of other things, but it has always been an important piece for you. What drives you in that direction?
Well, I was very fortunate. When I graduated from college, I had the opportunity to be an intern in the Florida Senate. And the senator who hired me on his committee was a senator named Warren Henderson. The Florida Wetlands Act is called the Henderson Wetlands Act. And he was known as Florida's first conservationist. And that's really what they call environmentalists back there. So he was probably the first environmentalist that I ever worked with straight out of college. From that job, I actually went to work for the EPA as a consultant for about 3 years in the area of municipal sanitation systems and in terms of management consulting. So I go back a pretty long way with having a focus on the environment.
So it's a kind of a personal interest for you, and it's something that you recognize as important? I mean, I guess what I'm getting at is, do you do this as a personal passion because you understand that the ecosystem is very fragile and you want to protect it, and especially for those of us in Florida, I guess it must be that.
Well, I think it's that, and it just makes common sense. As we look at growth patterns, we came out with a blueprint for Orange County's future, which was basically an 8-point plan, and all the things that you look at in that plan in terms of urban infill, connecting jobs to rooftops, the list goes on and on. The environment plays a key part in all those kinds of decisions. So to me, it's kind of a no-brainer.
Why is it not a no-brainer for so many other people, though? I mean, you've got to admit that the environment is not a frontline issue. The mayoral campaign right now, I keep trying to get those people to vote. What are you going to do about the environment? And it's just a sideline. They don't care. Well, at least that's a feeling that I get.
The best example that I can give is a very recent vote. When I first took office, it was my position then, 10 years ago, that we should limit urban development in the urban service area, and that on the east side, the symbolic, if not real, boundary needed to be the Econ River. We had a big project that contemplated giving access across the Econ, which in my mind would have opened the whole east part of Orange County to the St. Johns, and really had some environmental impacts in that regard. Interestingly, there was a recent poll in the elections that are taking place right now, and one of the questions that was asked relative to the Orange County mayor's race was, do you support growth east of the Econ? And some 67% of those polls said no way. So
that is interesting.
The public is on this, and they understand
that. The public is on this is right. I think that's it. But I don't think it's powerful enough right now to actually, I want our candidates to feel like it's important because their public thinks it's important, and they don't. There's a disconnect there, or the public desire isn't strong enough.
I think that's right. It's when the economy is real good, based on Florida's tax structure, it's real easy to say, well, we're going to develop, and some people call development economic development. That's part of it. And when we did our Innovation Way concept a few years back, we made sure that we talked about alternative transportation systems within the area. We talked about a connectivity between jobs and numbers of houses. We had urban centers that would be a place to kind of a work, live, play, worship, shop, all as close to your home as possible. So we've been pretty focused on the planning perspective, the environmental protection of sensitive lands. We've been a leader in that with our Green Place program. But there is another area that people don't really think about. They're starting to think about it. They're starting to tune in, and that's clean tech. And that is pursuing green type initiatives or business economic development in the area of clean tech. And in that context, we partnered with the University of Central Florida. The county actually commissioned a clean tech symposium to look at ways that we can diversify our local economy so that it's high tech as well as clean tech now. And we're making some strides in that direction. Of course, the future administration will hopefully pick up the baton and move that initiative forward.
That's very exciting, and I want to just say thank you for being our green mayor. It's been wonderful. We'll miss you, and we hope that whoever comes after you will, keep up the pace, and we hope that you'll be there on the sideline, kind of whispering to them, because it's all of our community.
Yeah, I hope so too, and I hope to be involved at some level in the community in the days ahead. So.